Hello and welcome back to my FPL strategy. In this video I'll be going through my final team selection for Gameweek 1. Well, I think my final team. The strategy is to pick a squad custom made for Gameweek 1 to 4 with the intention to activate my wildcard during the first international break ahead of Gameweek 5. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. In goal, Ryan keeps his spot. This year the plan is still to keep the money spent on goalkeepers to a minimum, shifting the funds elsewhere. Brighton has had a decent pre-season, winning 4 out of their 5 games. Ryan played in the last 3 matches, keeping 1 clean sheet. The Seagull starts off with relatively easy fixtures, only facing Man City in Gameweek 4. At the back, ROBERTSON remains in the team, with an ownership of 34%. And an outstanding return last season, the Scotsman is a must-have. Liverpool perhaps didn't have the best of pre-seasons, only winning 3 out of their 8 fixtures. ROBERTSON featured in the last 6 games, only recording 1 clean sheet. However, with only Arsenal to face within the first 5 game weeks, I still expect the Reds to start the season strong. Joining ROBERTSON is his teammate Van Dijk. I must admit, I'm not 100% sure whether to go with Van Dijk or Trent Alexander. But with Gomez back, Trent has a greater chance of being rested, especially as the season progresses, whereas Van Dijk is almost certain to play. Like ROBERTSON, Van Dijk only featured in the last 6 games, recording a clean sheet against Napoli and assists against Man City in the Community Shield. Liverpool's first fixture is a tasty home match against newly promoted side Norwich, thus I'm hoping for a clean sheet from my Liverpool defenders. Completing the 3 in defence is Man City's right back Kyle Walker. In the last Premier League campaign, the English international recorded 18 clean sheets, scoring 1 goal with 1 assist. City has had a strong pre-season, winning 4 out of their 5 fixtures. Kyle Walker has featured in every game, but his highlight was no doubt the incredible overhead goal line clearance in the Community Shield win against Liverpool. City's first fixture is an away match against West Ham. In the pre-season match against the Hammers, City beat West Ham by 4 goals to 1. In midfield, differential pick PEREYRA might just get the look in. Last season the midfielder scored 6 goals with 4 assists. However, the biggest concern with PEREYRA is he hasn't played a single match during pre-season, due to his involvement in the Copa America. However, Gracia is hopeful that the Argentinian will be available against Brighton. In fact, in the last home game against Brighton, the Argentina scored 2 goals in a 2-0 victory. Joining PEREYRA is of course RAHEEM Sterling. In the last Premier League campaign, the English international had an exceptional season, scoring 17 goals with 15 assists. And judging by his pre-season performance, his attacking returns ain't drying up anytime soon, scoring 5 goals with 2 assists. Sterling starts the campaign against West Ham. In the pre-season match against the Hammers, the Young Player of the Year scored a goal and an assist. Alongside Sterling is FPL top scorer Salah. Despite only featuring 2 matches during pre-season, the Egyptian international looked very lively against City in the Community Shield. Liverpool's opening fixture against Norwich looks very tasty on paper, and so it's very likely that Salah will be my captain for Gameweek 1. Joining my premium midfielders is City's playmaker Kevin De Bruyne. Granted, De Bruyne didn't have the best of campaign last season, but this was largely due to his ongoing injuries. Nevertheless, the Belgian international did have a very promising pre-season, scoring 1 goal with 3 assists in 5 appearances. With a price tag of 9.5 mil, De Bruyne has great value potential, so I'm pretty comfortable with him in my starting team. Completing the 5 in midfield is another differential pick, JORGINHO. With a price tag of 5 mil and an ownership less than 5%, Jorginho could perhaps be a good value for money. Okay, there's no denying the Italian international didn't have the best of seasons, only scoring 2 goals in 37 appearances. But for 5 mil, his price tag is low enough to comfortably bench if necessary. I must admit, my main reason for bringing him in the first place was for his penalty duties. However, it looks like Ross Barkley could potentially be Chelsea's first pick, scoring a penalty during pre-season. So with this in mind, Jorginho's position in my squad is still under scrutiny. Despite the opening fixture against Man United and the home match against Liverpool in Gameweek 6, Chelsea has a very good run of fixtures. Thus it could be a smart move to jump on a Chelsea player from the very beginning. But the question is, which one? Pre-season form would suggest Ross Barkley. Up front, Callum Wilson gets the nod. The English international had a respectable season, scoring 14 goals with 12 assists. In addition, his form during pre-season looks very promising, scoring 3 goals with 2 assists. With a high ownership of 20% and Bournemouth opening fixtures, the English striker looks like a safe bet. Completing the 2 up front is Wilson's teammate Joshua King. King too had a decent season, scoring 12 goals with 3 assists. During pre-season, he made 3 appearances, but only managed to record just a single assist. With the Cherries kicking off the season with 2 desirable fixtures, facing newly promoted Sheffield United, followed by Aston Villa, I'm hoping that doubling up on Bournemouth players will pay dividends. Like all my drafts, the same approach is utilised here, with none of my substitute player costing me more than 4.5 mil. So to sum up, the current team is set up as a 3-5-2 formation, with 3 premium defenders at the back and 3 premium players in midfield. For captaincy, it's almost impossible to look past Salah, up against newly promoted side Norwich. However, my biggest concern with this current setup is the 2 differential players in midfield, perhaps one too many, as well as not owning a premium player up front. With Tottenham's opening fixture against Villa and Harry Kane currently ranked as the highest owned forward, it's hard to ignore Kane's threat. But in order to accommodate Kane, I'm going to have to sacrifice a premium midfielder, and thus it's very likely that City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne will get the cut. However, if I do decide to go with Kane, then I'm probably better utilising a 4-4-2 formation, with Coleman in defence and Perez in midfield. Essentially, my team hinges on whether I want Kevin De Bruyne in my starting lineup, and I guess time will tell. With just 3 days to go, please note my team is not locked in. However, if you would like to see my final team selection ahead of Gameweek 1, be sure to follow me on Twitter. All my details in the description below. Otherwise, this is my FPL strategy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.